Thanks for tuning in and welcome to the pool party. I hope you can swim because we're definitely diving into the deep end with a huge splash of truth, facts, evidence, information, and proof. Swim. Say what you mean. It's talk about talking. How we listen, how we hear, how we speak, how we hear what we're listening to when we speak, how a listener hears what we're saying, if what we're saying, what they're actually hearing and or understanding. Is it clear? Swim. Say what you mean. Well, that's just the beginning of understanding, because after we get that understanding, how do we accept it? How we respond if it's not what we expect is paramount. Are you okay with the truth? Are you man, woman, human, or spiritual enough to accept the truth? Let's find out. Welcome to the Swimming Pool with your host, Travis Bridges.
And welcome to the Swimming Pool with your host, Travis Bridges. That would be me. Here's hoping you're having a fantastic and awesome Wednesday evening, because I am fresh and back like a new jack. Whew. It's been a long 6 months, I'm going to tell you right now, but I'm feeling good, and I'm just going to leave it right there. Anyway, I actually totally forgot about that I had a live stream tonight. I didn't forget. I just didn't remember. There's a slight difference in forgetting and not remembering. So I didn't forget. I just didn't remember until about 2 hours ago. One of my friends said, "Hey, are you doing your live stream tonight?" And I said, "Oh my God, I do have a live stream tonight." So my studio from abroad and even here in the Hollywood home studio is like in a bag, in a box, inside a suitcase. And I was like, oh man, maybe I can just do it the regular way and go from my laptop. But my laptop is not strong as it used to be because it's kind of old. And that was going to be my last resort. So when I'm on the road, I will take my live stream out and I'll make it do what it do. But tonight is like, I think I have time. So I started digging around and looking for stuff. It's like, man, I don't know where my stuff is. I had cables in different bags. I mean, I had stuff everywhere, but I must have figured it out, because guess what? Here I is, and it's good to be back in the Hollywood home studio. It's been a long time. I've got a lot of stuff to share. I have a lot to digest. I've got a lot to process, but it's all good. I didn't work on the CD at all, but I did get the book 99% finished. Starting next week, I will be doing the editing while I'm looking for a publisher and or deciding if I'm going to self-publish. But I do have a lot of information that I believe is going to be a blessing to many. It was definitely a blessing to me to go back to even childhood and open up a lot of stuff and talk about stuff. So I'm telling a lot, including some of the things that I'm dealing with now as recently as the past year, for sure. That's been a major part of my life. And I've been kind of keeping it quiet and kind of learning and growing, but I'm going to reveal and expose in due season. I hope I can be heard or seen well enough, and I've got some tech folk that will send me a text either on the screen or in my hotline and let me know if everything is going well. I'm pretty sure it is. Let me switch over to this buddy right. Oh no, no, that's not the one I want. Oh, this is what I want. Okay. So yeah, I guess I'll be setting up the studio. I've got some serious changes on the way, man. Life has just been crazy. I will say this though, if you're planning on doing something, I don't know what it is. We have goals, we have dreams, we have plans. One of my friends told me a long time ago, not making a decision is as bad as making the wrong decision. And it's true. I heard also in a motivational that I was watching just a few days ago said, go ahead and make a decision. And if you don't know the how somehow finds its way. If you know the why, that's enough to make a move on whatever your goals and dreams are. And I've done that quite a bit over the last few months, and I'm going to be doing it real soon. Hold on a second. Why would I be getting a call tonight? Hold on. Just give me a second. This is kind of crazy, but let me talk to my buddy. Hey, man, we're live like right now. I'm on the air. You want to be on the air with me, or you want me to just call you when I'm done? No, I'm on the air live right now. I only answered because it was you. I've got an audience that's watching me. I only have 6 people watching, but I'm on right now. You want to talk or you want me to call you when I'm done? Because I've got to get back to the live stream. Okay, I'll call you back. No, you're not on right now. I was going to put you on if you want to, but I'll call you when I'm done, okay? All right, cool. That was one of my good old buddies that I really needed to talk to, so I didn't mean to be rude by answering the phone. If it was anybody else, I wouldn't have answered at all, but that's my dog, and I needed to answer that. Anyway, I'm going to talk about something. Let's see if it's in my email yet. And if it is, I'm going to read it. Then I'm going to go to break and I'm going to come back and talk about a couple things tonight that are both exciting to me and interesting. Something that I saw while I'm always doing my surfing, looking for motivationals. I saw something, and it's something that went on about a year or two ago. You may have heard about it. I'm going to try not to call names, but I can't help but mention somebody said, here I go. I'm going to call this he said, she said. Okay. Somebody said something about a famous person, and they were wondering why the famous person was acting the way they were acting. And I think I have an idea. So I'm not going to call the person's name, but I'm going to call the person's name that they said this thing about. So this is a serious he said, she said. It's not what my live stream is about too much, but I'm going to just get into it tonight and see what happens. So I'm going to talk about that, and I'm going to look for a publication that I posted almost a year ago. I was reminded of this as I was putting, my book together. My editor was talking to me, and she said something about, hey, I found something that we're going to, work on that you did about this time last year. And it's relative to, to what's going on right now. And I was like, okay, what? So then I started looking, I was like, wow, I think I'll share that. I won't explain why. I'll explain in due season. If you're a follower of mine, just stay tuned. You'll understand why. But I'm looking now for my email. Let's see what I've got here. Okay, that's no problem. Okay, yeah, I'm getting a message. Okay, just give me a second. Y'all work with me, all right? I'm kind of back, and I've got things all over the place. I normally would have my studio set up, and I'm going to go live again with my horn. Oh, by the way, let me tell you about this. I've been playing sax since I was 10, and a few weeks ago, I ordered a mouthpiece because it's like, musicians, we're always trying to find, the best tools to use. And I've been looking for the perfect mouthpiece for all of my saxes for years. It's almost like an addiction when it comes to our toys. And I'd been wanting to get this one mouthpiece for a long time, but it was kind of expensive and I had to wait. So I did a gig a couple of weeks ago and they gave me a bonus. And I was like, that's what I'll use to get that mouthpiece. So I ordered it, and then I went away, and then it, of course, showed up the day I left. So it kind of sat in my box for about four days. But then when I got back last night, I put it on and I played it. And 2 hours straight, I definitely found the mouthpiece for my tenor sax, and I am just blown away. I just thought I'd throw that in while I'm looking for the publication. So let me go to my email. Thank you for your patience. I really appreciate it. Oh, here it is. Ooh, this is it right here. It seems long, too. And it's something that I wrote to my family and friends, and it'll show up on one of my social media pages on the 27th as a history. But I'm going to read it to you when I come back. So I'm going to take a short break. I do have a caller that is standing by. Who is my caller? Do I have a caller tonight? Oh, yes, I do. I have a caller that's standing by that's going to chat with me. But when I come back from my short break, I'm going to read this publication. Then I'm going to talk with my guest about, he said, she said. So do me a favor, hold the spot you got. I'll be right back. Let me say hi to Kimberly and to R. Monk. That's all I got. Oh, I've got 9 people, but everybody's hiding out. That's cool, though. Thank you, though. I appreciate it. So I'll be right back. Don't move.
Mighty, mighty horn music. Mighty, mighty, mighty horn music.
As time draws near and you plan your social events, Call Mighty Horn Music for a party you and your friends will never forget. From banquets, receptions, family reunions, and church functions to birthday, executive, or private parties, Mighty Horn delivers. Event packages include live musicians, psalmists, comedians, clowns, and a karaoke show that's guaranteed to make you laugh. Mighty Horn Music specializes in providing a variety of music to keep your guests going for hours. Mighty Horn Music. Let us create a custom sound for your special event. From start to finish, Mighty Horn Music will plan your theme, decorate, cater, and entertain your guests with class and style. This year, make your events live with Mighty Horn Music. Call 786-487-7338, 786-487-7338, or log on to mightyhornmusic.com and let's party.
Mighty Horn Music. Smooth jazz, top 40, R&B, inspirationals, and more. Live from the Hollywood Home Studio. Like, share, subscribe. And thanks for tuning in. Music is the universal tool that soothes the savage beast.
I don't think so. We're not going to have that. I don't know why it happened, but I ain't going to worry about it. Anyway, welcome back. I don't have any of my stuff hooked up, so I can't do my theme music or none of that, but that's okay. I don't need it tonight anyway. Hey, my sister Robin is in the house. She says, hold on. Okay, so let's see. What am I going to do? I said I was going to read this. This is kind of deep, but I'm going to read it. Let me open it up. It's on my phone. This is something that I wrote. And I'm so proud of, what I've done. It's amazing, man. We have, issues all of our life. And sometimes we have stuff that really bother us and we don't ever get any help for it. Because we're too proud for whatever reason. I'm saying we, and if it doesn't include you, don't worry about it. But I know me, man. I've had some tough times and some challenges that I've had to overcome. Nothing bad, just stuff that normally happens to people that helps to shape our character, personality traits and everything. Well, I found myself in a situation a few years ago where it's like, man, something's got to change. And I caught myself in the mirror going, hey, there's that something right there. But I was looking in the mirror and it was me. And I had to make a change. So I went on this quest, and it took me about 2 years to actually, find myself. And it still continued to go. And what came out of it was the journey that I took abroad just recently. It was part of the rest of the discovery of myself. And I don't think I'm going to ever get there, but I'm finding myself to be, very content. And in order for things to change, we have to do things. If you're looking for something different, you actually have to do something different. And I heard Steve Harvey say one time, when you're making a decision to do something, whether it's a goal or a dream, you have to jump at some point in time. It's like making a decision. And he said, you have to jump and then grow your wings on the way down. But the parachute will open if you jump, and it's very, very scary. Ask me how I know, because it happened to me. But I'm going to read what I wrote when I took my first journey, before I took the few after that, and before I take the one I'm going to take. What did he say? And then I'm going to get my caller on, and we're going to talk about he said, she said. All right. So this is a message that I sent, and I want you to listen to it. I wished I had some music playing in the background. I just didn't set up. But you know what? It took me 2 hours to get, going, again, because I've got stuff everywhere. I wish I can put the camera on all the stuff that's around me. I've kind of set it where I could just see myself here. But I'm going to read this, and it's kind of deep, and I hope I don't stutter on my own words. Okay. Are you ready? Hey, Christine. Thank you for hanging out with me. All right, here it goes. November 27th, and this is 2020. I had just gotten back from my first, trip abroad, and it was scheduled for a few years prior to leaving. And I had just gotten back, and this is what I wrote actually before I left. And it says, to my beloved family and friends, the initial 2-year study, self-reflection, evaluation, and self-improvement has come to an end. It has been a challenge, but I made it. When I leave this country, I'm leaving behind a lifetime of confusion, stress, worries, misunderstandings, hurts, disappointments, and childhood traumas and triggers, to name a few. The hardest tasks have been to take full responsibility for myself and my own actions, to forgive and to love through the discomforts of evil. I am convinced that love involves total transparency, confidence, knowledge of oneself, and the ability to effectively create from the power and strengths within. In finding oneself, we often lose family, friends, and associates who may also be lost. Patience indeed is a virtue. One of my human idols, Malcolm X, went to Mecca. I went to Colombia. Like him and many others who discovered truth, experienced reality, and exposed evil, we expanded. Let me read that again. Like him and many others who discovered truth, experienced reality, and exposed evil. Then I said, we expanded. I guess I'm going to have to post this. The very necessary mission proceeds, though. I can now relate to and better fulfill purpose. Although we're born with it, freedom is not free. It requires a new birth and a sacrifice of one's own fleshly agenda while experiencing the desires of our hearts. It's a work in progress, and we have a lifetime to achieve it, literally. Information and knowledge is power. When we know better, there's no excuse to not do and be better. We already have what we need. Discovery of how to effectively use it is that heaven on earth we dream of. I speak peace to you, to your soul, love to your heart. I speak peace to your soul, love to your heart, and health to your body. Receive it. And of course, that was on November 27th, 2020, a year ago. And wow, so much has happened since then. Wow, I can't even explain it. But I am honored to be, where I am today, grateful for the fact that I haven't cracked up and I can still have, a smile on my face with everything that I've gone through and still going through and will go through. And regardless, I hope that I will have the strength within, to keep my chin up and keep my head held high and to poke my chest out, and be strong in the midst of adversity. I think I'm going to talk about that some more, especially when my book is released, and I'm kind of sort of promoting it, and it's going to be released soon. So thank you. I'm going to take another short break whenever I do find where do I go here? Just give me a second. Wow, I can't find it. I don't know where. Oh, there it is. That's what I'm looking for. Anyway, I'm going to take another break. Then I'm going to get my caller on and we're going to talk about he said, she said. Again, I'm going to set that up. I was listening to a publication on some social media, probably YouTube, and there was a famous person talking about another famous person, and they said something about this famous person, and then they wondered why they seemed to have gotten shunned by this person, and they didn't understand why the person shunned them. But I think I understand it. I just kind of want to talk about it, and I'll talk about it with my guest. And if you want to chime in the chat room, please do so, because it's just kind of interesting. And I'm going to do that when I get back. So don't move again. Thank you so much.
The Swimming Pool with Travis Bridges is a talk segment about talking. Talk about talking? Yes. Talk about talking. It's designed to bring awareness to how we listen, how we hear, and what we do with the information we receive during communication. The mind is automatically programmed to protect the body and soul. It displays that through each and every encounter we experience. If any part of the body is threatened, the mind will automatically issue the flight command. The flight command to retreat to safety. Well, that same command is also deployed when our ego is threatened. The ego? Yes, the ego. It's so natural and common, it happens oftentimes without us even knowing. Engaging in conversation and staying focused on what is present is considered mental fitness. It strengthens our emotions and helps us to gain control of our circumstances instead of having our circumstances overtake our thinking and our very existence. It's a difficult task to achieve because our feelings, beliefs, and desires are so strong that it causes us to totally disregard even the most common or basic reasoning. This live stream is only here to bring awareness to that subconscious process. Nothing or no one is actually wrong. However, the idea of being open to anything outside of what we've already concluded is golden, especially if the new information is transparent. The SWYM developers would like to say thanks for supporting, watching, listening, and sharing this information. Now, back to the swimming pool. Let's dive in and swim.
Now, back to the swimming pool. Let's dive in and swim. I sound like a real announcer, don't I? Well, maybe I am. Anyway, here's hoping you're having a wonderful evening. Thank you so much. And welcome back to the swimming pool. I'm Travis Bridges. This live stream is talk about talking, how we listen, how we hear, how we process what we're hearing. Oh my goodness. I get in it all the time, and I don't know why I'm called to do this, but I'm going to do it for as long as I can. I might listen too intensely whenever I'm listening to a conversation or whenever I'm involved in something. I listen carefully to what is actually being said. One of my friends in the ministry did a sermon many, many years ago, and she said something about when you're listening to somebody, you have to listen to their head, you have to listen to their heart, and you have to listen to what's actually coming out of their mouths. That's three things that you have to focus on when you're in a communication or a conversation, with someone. And it happens all the time, all over the world, to many different facets of people. And so much confusion happens because we either don't listen, or when we do listen, we listen in so many different ways. And I am convinced that there's nothing that can't be solved if two people are willing to talk and listen and pay attention to what's actually coming out of our mouths, while we would communicate. You can get to the bottom of things. Your feelings can't necessarily be, different from what you're saying, and what you're saying can't be different from what you're thinking. And if you talk about, wait, did you mean this? Well, this is what you said. Well, this is what I heard. Those are three things, actually six things. What a person is saying, what a person is hearing. Those are two things. What a person means and what a person thinks they mean. That's two more things. And what they, anyway, there's so many filters that we have to get through in communication. It's not complicated, but when it does get complicated, we have to be willing to take the time to sit down. Sometimes it takes more than one meeting. And it doesn't mean you have to just sit around and go back and forth, have what they call, I don't know. I can't say what I'm thinking, but you can't be splitting hairs, so to speak. You have to be realistic and sensible, and be okay with what you discover. The truth is easy to get to if you're willing to it. It's freeing, but that's a whole nother story. Anyway, my caller is standing by. Caller, are you with me? Hello.
Hey, how you doing? I'm here.
Okay, that's good. Okay, I'm going to talk about something, and I want you to listen, and I want your feedback on it. And it's something that I heard. Now, everybody, at least in my community and people that I know, is familiar with Tyler Perry. You know who Tyler Perry is, right?
I do.
Okay. Well, I was listening to something. It's so funny and cool, and just want to talk about it. Somebody said, by the way, this is entitled He Said, She Said. And I've got Armand, I've got Robin, Christine, and Kimberly in with me, and a few other people that are not logged in, but they're listening and they will be listening. And I'd like to get some feedback on this because this is still the very beginning of where I ultimately am going. But I'm just going to talk about it. Okay, you're still with me, right?
I am.
Okay, so we're talking about Tyler Perry. Some other famous person, they said that they were at a special event. You know how the stars get together, and they were at this special function. And when they crossed paths with Tyler Perry kind of shunned them, or they felt like Tyler Perry shunned them. And they were talking about it on this talk show and how certain people in certain, groups need to get together and be together to support each other, and how this person kind of shunned them and was not going to be there. And I thought, well, that was kind of weird. Why would Tyler Perry do that, especially to this person? They're influential. But then as the interview went on, I heard them say something about Tyler Perry. And they said, all I said was, I ain't putting on no dress to make no money.
Ouch.
And then I said to myself, oh, so that was a conversation that needed to have. And the people that were doing the interview, no one checked this person who said that. They were just saying, oh, yeah, well, maybe you were shunned or something like that. But I thought I would take time to just say, OK, I mean, these are people who are way above, many things, me in terms of their popularity and pay scale and all of that. They're famous people. And I'm just my mama's fifth child, but I'm just going to talk about it because I have a live stream that, has to do with talking. So they went on, and it was at least a half-hour interview. And, 15 minutes of that was talking about how Tyler Perry shunned this person, but no one talked about how and why Tyler Perry may have seemed a little distant. So I'm not going to say maybe he didn't shun him, but I can relate to how if someone made the comment, I ain't putting on no dress to make no money. Well, I'm going to say, not in speaking up for anyone, but I guess if I had to argue both sides, maybe Tyler Perry is not putting on a dress to make money as much as Tyler Perry is being an actor in his profession. Superman in the movie has to be in costume. The Incredible Hulk has to be in costume. Iron Man and even Black Panther has to be in costume. Just so happened Tyler Perry is in costume as Madea. And to have someone say he's putting on a dress is maybe sending a different message, and maybe not. But I can understand how that would cause someone to say, okay, if that's how you feel about who I am and what I do, I don't need to be hee-heeing and snickering and grinning in your face if that's what you're going to say about, me or, how I feed my family or feed myself. So personally, I don't want to put on a dress for anything, whether it's making money or not. I think dressing is not, I don't like wearing dresses. I'm not going to say it's just for women, because a man, if he wants to wear a dress, then so be it. Me personally, I don't want to wear a dress for many reasons. But if someone puts on a dress, whether it's to make money or to be in character, then they ought to be able to do it without somebody saying something like, I ain't putting on no dress to make money. And you could tell, when people say that, because I've heard it said in the industry, some other comedians, and I won't call names, and I understand what they're saying. People should not do a certain thing for a certain reason. And I totally get it. But I'm not going to get that deep into it. And I hope you leave a caller. You're still there. You're still with me, right?
I am.
Okay.
I am.
So I'm going to stop. I'm going to talk about how and why this person felt like they were shunned, at this meeting by Tyler Perry, and they don't understand why. And if I was, one of the hosts on that particular interview show, I would have said, well, I would have shunned you too. Because if somebody says something to me, I ain't blowing into no instrument to make no money. It's almost like, that's, you're talking down about that or saying something, because it's what I do. So if someone is not for what it is I do, maybe they're not for me, and people have the right to their opinion and to express it. And I'm sure that's what the person was doing, just saying how they would not do something. But to wonder why another person would probably not want to warm up to you after making a statement like that should not be a surprise. So I'm going to leave it right there. I'm going to see if anybody in my room is going to say anything. But it's just my 2 cents on that subject. What are your thoughts, caller?
Well, I think it's interesting because, first of all, it is the industry, right? It's art. And when you're doing something artistic, like you say, you might want to dress it up. You might want to express yourself in a particular way, or you might even, blow your sax in a way that other people don't. Or, throw your screams here and there, which is part of your persona, it's part of who you are as a performer. So, we all have ways in which we express ourselves artistically, personally, emotionally, and you're right. I mean, if somebody were to not have a positive view of my art or even my personality or the way I express love or affection or grief, then why will I entertain that person? It doesn't seem to be something that I have to do. And so if Tyler Perry did that, I respect him.
If he did what?
If he shot him.
Mm-hmm. So, Again, I'm not speaking for anyone. I wasn't there and I don't know. And this is what they describe, like this person, maybe they dissed them in some kind of way. I'm not saying anybody should be dissing anybody, especially, if we're all professionals, we're at a special function, maybe we should dab up, fist bump, high five, even if I don't like to use the word faking, but, just be professional about it. But I can totally relate to if someone says something about their profession, and particularly in that situation, to say, I ain't putting on no dress to make no money. I can see how that could not feel too good and could make somebody decide that I'm gonna stay over here and you stay over there. Since that's how you feel about what it is I do, then you probably shouldn't be mad that I'm not, bumping elbows with you. So you respect them too.
Right. I do. And, Tyler Perry is somebody that has proven himself so many times, not only as an actor, but as a producer, a director, an entrepreneur. So, it's not just the whole dress thing, because, many people have said things about him, and I'm sure he taken in stride for what it is, because he does social commentary, basically, in many of his movies and performances. But the man has proven himself to be a serious actor when it comes to, playing parts in movies that are just superb. So if somebody doesn't respect that about a colleague, somebody in the industry, then I personally don't have a problem, going into a social gathering and not pretending. And I think that's part of his appeal, that he is somebody that he's true to the core and he doesn't have to pretend. He's a self-made man, and he doesn't have to pay homage to somebody that doesn't respect him or doesn't even admire his art.
Mm-hmm. So. Well, I'm not going to say the person didn't respect him or didn't admire, his art, because they went on to say, okay, I respect him for what he does. They tried to clean it up, but that one little part, that was missing was like, nobody checked him. Nobody checked him on that. And you don't have to be mean to say, well, I can understand, why somebody probably wouldn't want to be warmed up to you if that's how you feel about, their profession. And I don't think he, didn't disrespect him. It's just what he said. Maybe he meant no harm. But anyway, I'm going to leave it there. Adam Froman is in the house. This is the first time Adam has come on, my live stream. How you doing, Adam? I'm going to play Adam's promo. I'm not going to play his promo, but I'm just going to put it on the screen. Adam is a good buddy of mine. Just give me a second just to reach out to Adam here. This is Low Price Printing. You remember this, Adam? This is Adam's information. He's into graphic arts and printing and stuff like that. He's done a lot of work for me over the years. He's been a pretty good friend, for a long time, and he was a big supporter of my live stream for a long time, especially when I was doing the COVID concert series. So there you go, Adam. Hope you're doing well, man. Give me a call. I'm back in town. Let's go sit down and have a round. I can introduce you to some of this Colombian coffee I've been drinking. Good. Okay. He says he's doing good. Anyway, so anything you want to say about that before we move on? Looks like I'm going to cut my live stream a little short if I don't get any responses from my chat room. This is my first time back, and I'm not sure how long I'm going to stay because I'm going to make some other moves, but I'm not going to stop my live stream. He says, you look amazing. Let's connect if you're back. Yeah, I'm back for now. And I will reach out to you. I'll call you tomorrow. We'll hook up and do something epic. But anyway, caller, you're still with me. You want to say anything else about that? Please say yes.
Well, yes, absolutely. You know me. But you did say something that is very true. And I was actually doing some meditation this morning, and it came up in the meditation that as a man thinketh, right, so is he, right? Whatever we have in our heart is going to come out at one point or another. So you can tell me or Tyler Perry, hey, man, I really respect you. I really like you. I really think you're a good person. But it's those subtleties, it's those small comments on the side that really speaks to how you perceive that person. And perception tends to be pretty big. So, I think, some people can take it to heart when, they're trying to honor you or trying to say, hey, you're this, you're that. But at the end of the day, they're like, yeah, but, the way you dress or your art or what. And that tends to come out no matter how much you want to fake it. So I can totally understand how, if somebody can see through your heart or discern, your perception of them, there's no need to entertain that. There's just no need because it's negative energy for the person that, is being perceived a certain way or being judged or being characterized in a way that is, just out of order. So, but yeah, I am one to believe that you have to stay true to your core, and I don't play the whole pretending thing. And obviously, I'm not nearly or remotely a celebrity, but it's really important, I think, to stay grounded. And if the way that a person stays grounded is by being honest about how they feel about somebody, then, that's what I'm going to go with, So I can totally see him doing that, and I probably would have done the same.
Absolutely. Okay, I'm going to close on that and move on to something else real quick, and I'm definitely going to end a little bit earlier. Christine says she agrees. I don't know what she agrees with, but thanks for chatting, Christine. So again, Tyler Perry was discussed on an interview. People need to practice the letting go of judgment. It's only the ego speaking. Thank you, Adam. I appreciate that. And I also, like Christine, agree with that, what Adam said. So Tyler Perry said, Tyler Perry didn't say anything. Tyler Perry just kind of stood kept his distance from someone who made a comment about them. And if this person, would find my little small self and wonder why they may have felt like they were shunned, it's because of exactly what you said about this man's profession, that you would not put on a dress to make no money. That was probably not the nicest thing you could say about someone. And I'm just going to leave it right there. Thank you again for participating. I'm going to switch gears and go on to something else. I read something that I posted almost a year ago. Did you hear it?
I did.
Did you understand it?
I did. To some degree, I mean, not verbatim, but, I understand the feeling, the message behind it, I think.
Okay. Should I read it again or no?
Go ahead, read it again.
Well, I want to know if you got it, you understand it. I mean, I like the idea of writing. What were you going to say?
Well, no, I'm saying if we're going to get into the specifics of it, then obviously it would be nice to have it in front of me. I had it at one point, but I don't have it in front of me right now. But definitely speaks about your journey and you know you giving your benediction upon those that are reading and the growth that you've made during this journey, which sets an example that I think many of us took to heart. That there has to be growth, not only physically, but emotionally and spiritually. We can't stay stagnant.
Okay. Well, I won't read it again. As a matter of fact, I'm going to just totally pass by that because I want to talk about something totally different. This live stream is talk about talking, how we listen, how we hear, how we process what we communicate with, and what we do with the information we find when we do look for and actually find truth and the truth. So I kind of want to know, again, I was talking about one of my colleagues that is a minister, one of my friends rather. She said something about in listening, listening to a person's heart, their head, and their mouth. All three are engaged when someone is communicating. And I just kind of want to get your take on how important is it to realize that if someone is saying something or hearing you and then they're responding based on something that maybe is not necessarily what you're saying, or vice versa. You could be hearing something that a person is not saying. How important is it to have the conversation till the end, or until everybody is, you can't please all the people all the time, but at least until, there is a clear understanding. How important is it to listen to a head, a heart, and a mouth?
Listening to the head, the heart, and the mouth is very important. Having when I heard you saying it earlier in your broadcast, I think you maybe wanted to say a circular conversation. I think sometimes in a conversation we can go around and around and around for a while, and it's emotionally and intellectually exhausting. And I think the reason why we get into that situation is because the conversation is emotionally charged, or it could be bad timing. Somebody could be driving, the other one could be getting out of work, working down the parking lot. Could be a million things, right? Distractions, not being able to speak freely. So that's why having the permission to say, hey, let's table this until later. Let's just take a moment to kind of regroup, breathe, get some oxygen going in our brain so we can, think with our frontal lobe, not our amygdala. It's important. But, I can see how that will happen, where somebody will get into a circular conversation, not get anywhere, tempers or flare, and it's just not productive. It's counterproductive. So I do believe that, we need to listen, especially if we care about the person we're talking to, and listen in a way that we want to understand. But if for whatever reason the timing is just not right, it might even be not having face-to-face communication, which does not show me the body language, the facial expression, then, it's okay to table it and pick it up at another time. I think it's necessary, actually, in order to have a productive conversation and for there not to be any misunderstanding. Mm-hmm. So that's how I handle that when I get into that situation. And it happens. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It happens to all of us,
I'm going to agree with 99.999% of what you said. And I'm going to add to that. I am just convinced that it is necessary to communicate. I don't care who you are. I don't care how you feel or what you think. If you are not at peace with someone, unless you're just discounting them. Sometimes if you discount someone, or discount someone, you don't want to have anything to say to them ever, especially if someone has betrayed you in any kind of way, and it's been proven, and then you have the information and the evidence, then it's very safe to keep your distance from someone. But sometimes, we get in our feelings and we don't communicate with people, and whether they admit it or not, and I'm going to speak for myself, there are people that don't talk to me, even in my own family and some of my close family, friends. that either won't say or have, not so much now as much as in the past. People will stop speaking to you or communicating with you because of how they feel, but they won't call you or call a meeting to say, hey, let's talk about it. So I'm just, putting it out there. It's kind of bouncing off me, and it's I'm living my experience through, this live stream. If you are not talking to someone for hey, I've got a call. Y'all hold on a second. This is my mouthpiece guy. Hey man, I'm doing a live stream and you kind of disrupted it, but you're important. So I'm going to call you back in about 20 minutes. Okay. Okay. Catch you later. Who answers the phone while they're doing a live stream? Well, I do. That was the guy who actually makes the mouthpiece for my saxophone. I was telling my audience that I played for almost 2 hours last night, and it's like, whoa, I found the connection that I need with my tenor sax, and I'm looking forward to continuing to play, and I hope that I'm able to play for many years. But back to my point, if you're not talking to somebody, or if someone's not talking to you, make the effort to try to clear the air if you can. Sometimes there's nothing you can do about a situation you can't control. You can't control how a person thinks or how they feel or what they choose to believe or how they want to live their lives. But keep yourself open, keep yourself transparent, make yourself available if you want to be at peace and you're open to the truth and discovering the truth or accepting even the truth. And the truth is reality in some aspects, but it's not necessarily reality. It's what is the word I'm looking for? It's subjective.
Very.
Don't be mean. If you're not talking to someone that you love or someone that loves you, you're not sleeping good. They're not sleeping either. If by chance, if someone's not talking to you, open yourself up so that you can sleep well. Because I can tell you, when you are available, when you're open, when you're transparent, you do sleep a little bit better. You may not like it, and you don't have to like it, but you want to find yourself at peace. And I'm just going to leave it right there. I want to say thank you for being there for me. And I hope you have something closing to say, because I have probably 12, 13 more minutes to go before my official time is up. But you, for the most part, you're always there. We've been buddies for a long time. I can't thank you enough for supporting me. Even when I don't like you sometimes, I always love you. You know that, right?
I know that very well. Likewise. Yeah, actually, I do have something. R.C. Blakes Jr. I don't know if you know him. I'm not crazy about him. He's, he has this channel, and he says a lot of wise things. But he's recently changed the format, and I was listening to him this morning, and he was speaking something very relatable to what you're saying, and it's that, when people approach you or anybody, right, in communication, somebody makes an effort to either express an opinion, express a thought, express a feeling, it's so important to kind of put them down slowly, gently, because, first of all, you never know where that person may be at that moment in their life, right? You don't know what that person may be going through, or you may not even know where that person is going to be 10, 20 years from now, right? So somebody comes with an idea, business proposal, or whatever it is, and you might just not be interested for whatever reason. But he was speaking about that this morning, and I thought it was interesting because many times we disregard people, or like we were talking about Tyler Perry, because we either don't like their art, we don't like their approach, we don't like what they're selling, but here's the thing. It's all about common decency. It's about kind of, that human spirit, that you don't have to crush someone's soul or someone's ideas because you don't necessarily agree with it, right? So he was speaking about that, and I thought it was very profound because I do a lot of work with domestic violence, and we see these tragedies, just horrendous cases, where families are taken out and just tragedies. And it's like a lot of times, if not all, it starts with communication and how we treat each other. And that can be very scary. Even as I prepare for a big event in December, I've been meditating on this, and it's like, Yeah, communication is very important for many reasons, but communication is also the fiber of our connections as humans, right? So, you see a lot of people react because they feel disrespected, or you see a lot of people, commit horrendous crimes because their ego was hurt, or their feelings were hurt. And, we can always say, well, I don't have to cater to your feelings. Well, at the end of the day, if you're facing a nut with, several weapons and AK-47, I'm going to try to, cater to that person a little bit because I don't know what they're capable of doing. So it's not only common decency, it's also common sense. And that's why I've always been attracted to your live stream, because it makes sense, and it is absolutely necessary for us to learn how to communicate emotionally, verbally, and even sometimes our gestures and our body language. People say a lot of things, but their body language is completely different. And that's why sometimes we put up with somebody's, dissing us, because it's like, yeah, he's just talking smack, but, I know he ain't capable of doing anything. But at the same time, it's very packed up. So I just wanted to say that because I heard it this morning and we're talking about it tonight. And it's that, even how we reject somebody, or how we fire somebody, or, end a friendship or a relationship or a family conversation, it always needs to be done with decency and respect, because at the end of the day, the same person created us, the same God, and we should have just common respect towards each other. So that's all I wanted to share.
Okay, I appreciate it. You did say something that I couldn't help but respond to. Maybe you were pushing one of my buttons. You said, be careful how we treat people. That is very true. I'm just going to kind of chime in on that and say we have to also be careful how we respond to how someone treats us. That's very important. Right. So Absolutely. You may treat someone a certain way. You may be aware of it. You may not be aware of it. And there's this saying that goes, life is 90% of what happens, or 10% of what happens, or 90% of how you respond to it. I think someone can treat you a certain way, but how you respond to it is more impactful for you, and how you respond to it. So I just didn't want to leave that hanging, of talking about how we treat people. People should know how to respond to all kinds of treatment, good, bad, and ugly. So with that being said, I can't thank you enough. I appreciate you. I love you. I respect you. I honor you. I cherish you. All the other good things that come along with good friendship. So thank you for supporting me. I promise you there's a whole lot of good things that are on the way, and it's so much that I don't even mind. I'm a person who likes to operate in excellence. And if I had my way, I'd have all kind of fancy cameras. I'd have backdrops, and I'd have, a team of people. It'd be just like, major network news. But I'm okay with getting familiar with being in front of the camera and working some of my gear. And soon, and very soon, I'm going to be stable in a location where I'm going to be set up, and then I'm going to really get into it. I'm also going to be working on my third CD project, so thanks everybody in advance for supporting that. My book is almost finished, finished with most of the content. I just have to do some editing and preparation for publication, so thank you in advance. I'm going very deep. I'm very vulnerable with some of the information that I'm sharing, and I thank you in advance for allowing me to share my testimony, because I believe we do overcome by the words of our testimony. And it doesn't mean tell all your business, but when you reach a place of deliverance and you can talk about it, you can probably help other people, and you likely will. So thank you again, caller. I don't have music to ride out on because I was setting up late, but I'm going to go ahead and let you go, and we'll talk soon. I appreciate you, and I love you.
I love you too. Welcome home, buddy.
You got it. Thank you so much. We'll chat.
Bye-bye. Bye.
Okay, bye. And there you have it. I'm going to end a little bit earlier. This is SWYM. It's the acronym for Say What You Mean. It's very important to say what you mean what you say. and be okay with what you discover if you get the opportunity to communicate with someone. With that being said, take good care of yourself. Find somebody you need to say I love you to. Don't just say it, but show it and mean it. Okay? Have a good night. I love you.
The Swimming Pool with Travis Bridges is a talk segment about talking. Talk about talking? Yes, talk about talking. It's designed to bring awareness to how we listen, how we hear, and what we do with the information we receive during communication. The mind is automatically programmed to protect the body and soul. It displays that through each and every encounter we experience. If any part of the body is threatened, the mind will automatically issue the flight command. The flight command to retreat to safety. Well, that same command is also deployed when our ego is threatened. The ego, yes, the ego. It's so natural and common, it happens oftentimes without us even knowing. Engaging in conversation and staying focused on what is present is considered mental fitness. It strengthens our emotions and helps us to gain control of our circumstances instead of having our circumstances overtake our thinking and our very existence. It's a difficult task to achieve because our feelings, beliefs, and desires are so strong that it causes us to totally disregard even the most common or basic reasoning. This live stream is only here to bring awareness to that subconscious process. Nothing or no one is actually wrong. However, the idea of being open to anything outside of what we've already concluded is golden, especially if the new information is transparent. The SWYM developers would like to say thanks for supporting, watching, listening, and sharing this information. Now, back to the swimming pool. Let's dive in and swim.